This is a message from Seth, as channeled through Jane Roberts. Hear this now. The headaches, the ringing, the sudden nausea or heat that comes out of nowhere, the people who drift away, the nights when dreams feel more real than the day. You are not broken. You are not failing some spiritual test. What you are feeling, in body and in life, are the first fingerprints of a different probability field touching your experience. These are not symptoms to hide from. They are announcements. By the time you reach the end of this message, you will recognize 10 unmistakable signs that you are entering a higher probability field, and you will be given a simple 5-step daily practice to help you stabilize and inhabit that frequency more often. If this resonates, type "I accept that I'm in 5D" in the comments. Let that declaration be an energetic marker for you and a way to claim this movement aloud. Begin simply with the idea that reality is layered. The world you grew up believing in is not wrong. It is one layer. Call that layer 3D, dense, divided, linear, governed by survival narratives and a sense of separateness. There is a layer of transition, many call 4D, where emotions and subtle energies intensify, where old wounds surface to be recognized. And there is a higher probability layer, many call 5D, lighter, more coherent with unity, where time loosens its grip and patterns rewrite themselves to favor love, creativity, and immediacy. These labels are maps, not presents. They describe qualities. In 3D, the world feels solid and predictable. In 5D, it feels fluid and alive. You are not necessarily moving in a straight line from 3D to 5D. What is happening for many now, and this is the heart of what I bring to you, is overlap. The two fields coexist. Think of it like walking between two rooms with a wide open doorway. Sometimes the sunlight spills fully into your shoes, and other times you stand wholly in shadow. You flicker. You catch glimpses of a different world in moments. Moments where you are inexplicably tender. Moments where a dream gives you an answer no one could have told you. That flicker can be disorienting. It feels like instability. It feels like loss. Yet it is the very evidence that your consciousness is beginning to register a higher probability field. Many channeled teachings and researchers, some of whom followed different methods, have reported this same phenomenon. Their observations run parallel to what I am describing now. Sign 1. Unexplained physical symptoms. You wake with a pressure behind your eyes, a ringing in your ears, a stomach that churns for no medical reason, or a brief dizziness as if the ground under you has shifted. Do not rush to label these experiences as purely illness or purely mystical. Many people report physical disturbances when energy shifts occur. Sensations of expansion, contraction, heat, cold, tingling, or electrical surges under the skin.
These are not moral indictments. They are translations of subtle change into a physical language your nervous system can register. If you have concerning or persistent symptoms, please consult a medical professional, as you would with any health change. Simultaneously, give yourself permission to regard some of these experiences as energetic recalibrations, your body retuning to a different resonance. Treat them with both care and curiosity. Hydrate, rest, be gentle, and notice what the sensations tell you about where attention is going. Sign 2. Shifts in diet and appetite. Suddenly, the foods you loved feel heavy. Your body craves lighter, cleaner nourishment, or conversely, calls for specific textures or mineral-rich foods you never noticed before. This is not a judgment on past choices. It is simply that as frequency changes, your physical vehicle seeks different fuel to support a new vibration. Many report an increased sensitivity to chemicals, processed foods, or meats, and a spontaneous liking for fresh waters, greens, and whole foods. This can feel isolating. Old rituals around meals change, family preferences diverge, but it is also a powerful signal that your body is aligning with different currents of life. Listen without guilt, experiment slowly, honor medical advice and nutritional needs, and treat these cravings as intuitive data rather than absolute rules. Sign 3. People leave or change their roles in your life. This is one of the hardest signs to accept because it cuts at the heart of belonging. You may notice friends growing distant, relationships ending not with dramatic fights, but with quiet drift, or colleagues who once understood you now seeming unable to connect. This is not punishment, it is sorting. As your frequency shifts, your life reorganizes to reflect it. Some souls will walk into the new resonance with you, others will remain in a different orbit. That does not make them lesser, it makes alignment practical. Think of your life like a garden. Certain plants thrive together naturally, while others crowd and choke each other. The clearing of people is not desertion, but a rewilding, space to plant what truly matches your emerging vibration. grieve what must be grieved, honor the history you shared, and allow the quiet to be fertile. Sign 4. Altered time perception. Moments stretch and compress. An hour may feel like 5 seconds, or a day may unspool like a slow film. You may lose track of linear time during periods of deep focus or during moments of insight. This is a sign that the mind's usual attachment to chronological order is loosening. In 5D, time behaves less like a rigid ruler and more like a river whose currents shift with intention. When you notice time slipping, when waiting either vanishes or slows, consider it feedback. Your consciousness is testing the boundaries of a new temporality.
Practice gentle anchors. Simple rituals, clocks, and agreed-upon markers can help you navigate daily life while allowing the interior sense of time to expand. Sign 5. Vivid, prophetic, or lucent dreams. Nights become laboratories of meaning. You may receive clear symbolic dreams, repeated scenarios that feel instructional rather than random, or nocturnal journeys that return you with a sense of completion or download. These inner theaters are not always literal forecasts. They are experiential rehearsals, a way for consciousness to explore choices in a safe simulation. Pay attention to recurring imagery, to emotional tone, and to the synchronicities that align with your dreams upon waking. Over time, you will learn to distinguish between the mind's wishful thinking and a guidance that feels anchored, precise, and strangely familiar in its authority. Record these dreams. They are fingerprints left by the higher probability field. Sign 6. Intolerance of low vibration stimuli. Noise that once seemed normal now jars you. Media that feels manipulative or petty makes your skin crawl. Crowded places, in extreme cases, can feel claustrophobic in an emotional way. This is not spiritual snobbery. It is a recalibration of the nervous system. As your inner frequency rises, you naturally repel inputs that are discordant with the new resonance. This can be practical. You might avoid certain news, entertainment, or conversations that drain you. Do so with compassion. Practice discernment rather than avoidance for its own sake. If a care relationship or job requires you to be with heavy energy, build energetic hygiene rituals, short resets, breath practices, and clearings to restore your equilibrium. Sign 7. Synchronicities increase and feel purposeful. Coins appear, numbers repeat, phone calls arrive at the exact moment you need a word, and doors open in improbable sequences. These are not mere coincidences when they carry a thread of meaning and prompt action. Synchronicity is language, the field arranging seemingly random events so that an intentional being can perceive guidance. When these patterns intensify, notice what they are pointing you toward. Often they are gentle nudges inviting you to make small changes. Reach out, accept an invitation, take a different route home. Cultivate gratitude for these moments. They are confirmation that the higher probability field is communicating in the currency of everyday life. Sign 8. Spontaneous downloads and inner knowing. You receive flashes of information, solutions to problems, or sudden clarity that arrives without a step-by-step logic. You may sit with a challenge and then, out of nowhere, understand the next right move. This is not ego boasting. It is the deep intelligence of your own being, unencumbered by habitual doubt, making itself known. In 5D, knowledge is more available as direct knowing rather than as piecemeal reasoning.
Practice listening. When a download comes, pause long enough to verify it in action before assuming it is infallible. Test it, act on it, and allow your field to confirm what is true for you. Sign 9. A pronounced loneliness that is different from depression. This loneliness carries with it a kind of reverent spacing, an ache like homesickness for a frequency you sense but cannot fully inhabit yet. It is not the despair of isolation so much as the thinning that precedes flowering. Many who shift report this loneliness most in the early stages. It softens as new connections form, usually with those who resonate at similar frequencies, or with communities that form around shared practices. Hold tenderness for yourself during this time. Allow the solitude to be a crucible for maturation rather than evidence of failure. Sign 10. Moments of bliss, unity, and effortless creativity. Interspersed with the disorientation are sudden windows of clarity and expansion, a morning where everything sings, a creative flow that yields work with ease, moments when grief and joy melt together and you taste a deeper aliveness. These flashes are not entertainment, they are calibrations.
They show you what the higher probability field looks and feels like when you are permitted to dwell there. Cultivate these moments. Recognize them as practice, many residencies in 5D that, when repeated, extend your stay. If you notice several of these signs, if the physical, social, and psychic markers are stacking, you are not hallucinating. You are participating in a transition. Yet permanence does not arrive simply by noticing. Why are you not already permanently in 5D? Because consciousness, like a radio signal, requires tuning. Belief acts as a stabilizer. The human ego tends to interpret newness as threat. It deploys patterns of doubt, old narratives, and protective behaviors to drag you back into familiar terrain. The observer effect functions energetically. Where you place attention, you anchor reality. If you oscillate between curiosity and fear, your experience will oscillate between fields. That is the core practical teaching. Intention plus consistent practice equals increased resonance. Now hear a 5-step practice to help you stabilize your frequency. These are not magical incantations that guarantee literal ascension, but they are repeated, embodied actions that shift your habitual attention and offer your system a new pattern to entrain. Use them as you feel called. They are simple, daily, and portable. Step 1. Morning activation and declaration. Upon waking, before checking your phone or stepping into outside concerns, place both feet on the floor. Breathe deeply 3 times. Say aloud in a clear voice a short declaration that anchors your intention for the day. Something like, I choose presence. I choose the frequency of love and clarity today. Keep it brief, personal, and affirmative.
This is not a performance. It is the act of an observer making a choice. Repeat once more while placing a hand over your heart. The declaration need not be world-changing. Its power lies in regular repetition. It conditions your nervous system to accept a different operating mode. Step 2. Mindful hydration. Drink water slowly, with attention, especially in the morning and mid-afternoon. Bless it if that feels right. Simply hold the glass and think, may this nourish and align me. This is symbolic and practical. Hydration supports physiological shift, and intentionalized hydration creates a tiny ritual that connects your body to your inner guidance. Many traditions and many contemporary practitioners speak of water as responsive to intention. Treat this practice as an invitation to slow down and respect the body as a living instrument of consciousness. Step 3. Food blessing. Before you eat, pause for a breath and offer gratitude. You might say silently, may this food support my clarity and well-being. Again, the blessing is optional and symbolic. Its value lies in creating presence around consumption. Notice how your body feels after different foods. Allow experimentation without rigidity. If you have medical dietary needs, continue to honor them. This practice is about reintroducing reverence into ordinary acts and giving your senses a role in determining what fuels your field. Step 4. Fear release practice. Midday or whenever fear rises, practice a 5-minute release. Sit or stand. Breathe intentionally. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6. With each exhale, imagine a thread of stored fear unraveling from your body. You can say aloud or internally, I release what no longer serves. If images or emotions surface, acknowledge them without judgment and return to the breath. This is not a cure for trauma or deep psychic wounds. It is a practical micro-habit for reducing the habitual pull of fear that drags you back into denser patterns. For deeper healing, seek appropriate professional or therapeutic support. Step 5. Evening integration. Before sleep, write down 3 moments from your day that felt aligned, however small, and 1 insight you received. Close with a short phrase such as, I integrate what serves my highest good. This act teaches your mind to recognize the evidence of a higher probability field and trains your memory to prioritize alignment. The compound effect is subtle but cumulative. Noticing alignment makes alignment more likely. Practicing these steps daily is not a guarantee that every relationship, job, or health issue will instantly transform. It is an apprenticeship in living from a different frequency. Along the way, some external structures will no longer fit. This is the consequence of alignment. As you recalibrate, life reorganizes to mirror the change. You may find that a career that once sustained you now feels meaningless, that a home no longer supports your peace, or that family patterns no longer resonate. These shifts can be freeing, terrifying, or both. Allow grief and celebration to coexist.
Do not construe endings as punishment. They are shedding for emergence. You will also encounter those who cannot or will not shift with you. They are entitled to their path. Do not attempt to coerce or rescue. Offer love where it is healthy and release attachment to outcomes. Some connections will transform into new forms of relationship. Friendships altered and deepened by respect for difference. Others will naturally release. In either case, hold the ethic of non-coercion. You are responsible for tending your frequency, not for managing the choices of others. A practical caution about the many metaphysical claims you will encounter. Within the channeled tradition, there are ideas about DNA activation, light bodies, water memory, and other phenomena that serve as useful metaphors and experiential descriptions for what people feel. These accounts can be empowering and clarifying. At the same time, they remain metaphysical and subjective. I encourage curiosity and experimentation, not dogma. If a practice interferes with medical treatment or causes harm, consult qualified professionals and prioritize your well-being. Many have reported transformative experiences, and those reports deserve respect, but no single story fits all. You may wonder about your responsibility in this process. Do more than hope. Practice. Belief without action tends to be idle. The 5 practices offered are small but deliberate. A morning nod to your intention, moments of mindful nourishment, calibrated fear release, attention to inner downloads, and evening integration. Repetition is the teacher. Over time, you will notice that the windows of 5D widen. What were once moments become hours. What were once rare becomes habitual. There is also a communal dimension. Seek people who are practicing and learning rather than people who only teach. Communities build supportive scaffolding. If you cannot find one nearby, consider online groups that emphasize experiment, not ideology. Share what you learn and remain humble about what you do not know. Curiosity, not certainty, will keep you flexible and resilient. Let me address an inner fear directly. The thought that choosing alignment is abandonment, that by choosing a higher probability field, you are leaving behind your human responsibilities. That fear is a shadow of the ego's desire for predictability. Choosing alignment does not absolve you from compassion or from practical care. It asks you to reorient where you draw your strength. In practice, those who embody higher frequencies often become more responsible because they operate from a place of clarity rather than reaction. The work is integration, being present in the world while also being present to the field that reshapes it. There will be days when you will doubt everything, your practices, your experiences, even the validity of a message like this. That is natural. Doubt is a tool when it prompts honest inquiry. It is an obstacle when it becomes habitual retraction. Use doubt as a coach, not as a jailer. Ask, what is useful here? What brings me back to balance? Keep what serves, release what burdens. If you are wondering whether others have reported what you are feeling, know that similar patterns have been recorded across a variety of channels and research traditions. Some investigators who used hypnosis and regression techniques observed compartile symptoms and life rearrangements. Those findings are not proof of a single truth, but they are useful parallels that suggest you are not alone in this experience. Use these stories as a mirror, not as a rulebook. Return now to breath. Close your eyes for a moment and place a hand where you feel your center. Breathe slowly and feel the steady rhythm that connects you to the living field. Name one simple intention aloud. I will notice the signs. I will practice the 5 steps. I will be gentle with myself. Let this be an energetic contract with your deeper self. Before I close, a practical safety reminder. If you experience persistent or extreme physical symptoms, please seek medical advice. These practices are complementary and not replacements for professional healthcare. If emotional material arises that feels overwhelming, contact a trusted therapist or support person. Being aligned does not mean foregoing care. It means integrating spiritual practice with sensible, grounded support. You have a choice in every moment. That choice is not about right or wrong, but about resonance. Choose to experiment. Choose to commit to the practice for a month and observe what changes. If you find resistance, meet it with curiosity rather than condemnation. Track the evidence, the times you felt lighter, the dreams that clarified a direction, the people who arrived like answers. Let evidence, not wishful thinking, be your guide. I leave you with one last encouragement. You are not alone and you are not defective. You are a consciousness expanding its habitat. Honor the markers, physical, social, psychic, as invitations to come home to a higher probability field. Take the 5 steps as a daily skeleton on which to hang new habits. Allow grief, allow joy, and let curiosity be your constant companion. If this message helped you, commit tonight to the 5-step practice, and if you feel called, subscribe for more messages delivered in this vein. Share this with someone who might need permission to name what they are experiencing. I am with you in the movement. Keep practicing, keep choosing, keep coming home.